Coach's Corner with Don Cherry. Brought to you by Tremco, makers of Tremplaid, Canada's #1 rust paint.
1-0 Washington at the end of one. Craig Laughlin likes what he sees. What do you see?
Well, I'll tell you, Washington cannot play any better than that. That's the best they played all year. Brian Murray's over there dying 1,000 deaths. When you play like that and you come out almost nothing, 1-0, you're really afraid. It looks like the Islanders are sitting back, dependent on Rudy, and waiting for a break.
Somebody said there was no tomorrow for Ken Morrow, I think 2 years ago, but he looks to be back.
Let me tell you something. This guy, Ken Morrow, is skating better now than he did 6 years ago. I don't know what happened, but he is playing. They talk about Scott Stevens playing a lot in Langley. This guy's got to be playing 40 minutes. But I want to get a little beef off here. And I saw that Pavanka, is that how you say it, Pavanka, with a shield, high stick a guy that had a stick down. All he was doing is body checking him. If these guys that wear the visors, and I'm not against visors, if they have as much care for other people's eyes as they seem to have for their own, we'd be a lot better off. They get awful brave when they get. Guy gets awful brave when he has a visor on.
Well, you can't generalize and say there's intent, but it is true that many feel because they wear them, they're less likely to think about a stick up in the air. What about Brian Murray? You read in the papers here, and we've heard over the last 24 hours, people say if the Caps were to lose this series, Brian Murray is done.
Well, the same guys a month ago was saying he was coach of the year. He stuck with his team halfway through the season. They were absolutely terrible. He kept going with them. A month ago, he was supposed to be coach of the year, and now he's supposed to be gone. I mean, it's absolutely ridiculous the way they hire and fire coaches.
Now, Kelly Hrudey has been something else for the New York Islanders. What do you say about him, other than he seems to like Billy Smith's technique?
You know, I had to laugh. Of all the referees to pull that feint and fill, as we call it, Billy Smith routine, of all the guys to do it against is Andy Von Hellemond, because Andy Von Hellemond was the guy that gave, I think it was Anderson for the Oilers, the 5-minute major for when he fainted that time. Bad guy to try it against Von Hellemond.
He did it 1 year, and then he changed his mind. And Kelly Hrudey, Harry mentioned this, he had a 2.09 goals against average going in. He said, it's great to have goaltending, but you need to have goal scorers. If the Islanders come back, you think they'll have one of their best for Philadelphia?
Well, Philadelphia, like the Oilers, are sitting home, like you said, waiting. Mike Keenan is here, by the way. He's a funny guy. They give him a press pass, no way. He went and bought 2 tickets. He's sitting with his assistant coach in the stands, so nobody will bother him. Smart guy.
Is he wearing white?
I don't know whether he's wearing white. No, I think he's wearing blue. I think he'd like to have the blue.
What about Mike Bossy?
Well, Mike Bossy, I was talking to him before the game, and sad thing there, he sat out the 5 games to get his back better. He gets his back and was feeling pretty good, he said. He gets out there and bangs up his knee. But he tells me if they win this game tonight, he will be back in the next series, and let me tell you something, they needed some goal scoring.
What does Terry Simpson say when his club's down after 1 and clearly outplayed?
Well, you know what I would say to him? Hey, guys, we had a rotten period. Rudy held us in there. We're only down 1-0. We got a chance. We got them right where we want them. He's laughing right now. He's the guy that's got to pep these guys and get them up there. It's sad to see the Sutters behind that bench. Let me tell you, folks, we see them all over the league hurt. And the reason they're hurt, and I've said it before, is because they play the game the way it should be played.
If nothing else is certain, one thing is, if you should come to Washington, D.C. on the Easter long weekend, you're bound to see cherry blossom, and that's the case in this edition of the Coach's Corner.
Coach's Corner with Don Cherry has been brought to you by Tremco, makers of Valspar Superthane and a complete line of wood care products.